Hi there everybody, thanks for tuning in again. This is vinyl, cracking vinyl, and what we've got here, I've got a load of records I got from a set of charity shops that were in North Finchley. I went back to where I got some from before, and I thought I'd just show what I've got. I haven't been able to listen to any of these yet. I just haven't had time, but it was such a good haul that I thought I would I would get this video out. So, before I start, thanks to James, the Vinyl Professor, for the shout out in the video earlier on tonight, which was brilliant. His channel, if you haven't seen it, his channel, the Vinyl Professor, James Griffin, I think, is well worth watching. He's got some brilliant finds, and one of the artists I've got in this pile is directly inspired by an album that he showed, and I'll tell you when we get to that point. So all of these albums cost £1 except for the first one, and this one, the first one, was Peggy Lee. This is a later album. This is 1970. I think it's an original pressing, but this is Peggy Lee, Make It With You. It's got mainly contemporary writers, so I think who writes on this? David Gates has got a track on it, and she's covered Long and Winding Road on here, which I hope it sounds better than the Phil Spector produced shambles that got released on Let It Be. So, which is probably a bit controversial, but I really don't like that album very much. Anyway, so that's the first one, Peggy Lee, Make It With You. There's the back cover. Nothing special about the Unity. Right, then all of these are £1 each, which I find quite incredible, and they are all in superb nick. I was really chuffed when I got a lot of these. So the first one, Blues Brothers soundtrack album. So I'm really looking forward to listening to this again. It's got all the James Brown, Cab Calloway, Ray Charles, Aretha's on it. Some of the tracks that Jake and Elwood recorded, or rather John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. God, I nearly forgot his name then. But this is a splendid copy, and it's on, I do believe it's on the Atlantic label. Yeah, there we go. You can see it's Atlantic. Pretty sure this is an original pressing. It's in really good nick, so I'm looking forward to hearing that. Also on Atlantic was this one. Now I do like a bit of Otis Redding. Just think he's brilliant performer. So this is a 1978, 79 compilation called Otis. Got some liner notes on the back. Used to play this way. Trying to find it hard to get back in. There we go. I do have some of his CDs and stuff, but I really wanted some of his stuff on vinyl, so this will fill a gap nicely. Then I also got probably the best one to look at next. Yeah, it's this one. So this is another Atlantic record. 16 hit tracks from Atlantic Soul Classics. So this has got some of the greatest songs of all time on it, to be honest. It's got Stand By Me by Benny King, which I don't think I've got anywhere else on vinyl. Songman by 7 Day, Respect by Aretha. It's got In the Midnight Hour by Wilson Pickett, Green Onions. This is just such a good compilation. I don't think there's anything special about this one. No, it's on again on the Atlantic. So that's 3 Atlantic LPs. Atlantic Soul LPs, I guess. Even, or R&B, because even the Blues Brothers is R&B as well. Right, what else did we get then? Shall I do? Right, I've got a lot. Let's do that one next. Right, another compilation I picked up was this one. This is Street Level. It's a late 70s, maybe about 1980, Ronco compilation of new wave hits, 20 new wave hits. I'm sure the vinyl quality is going to be awful, but you can't argue about the track listing. Now if I hold it there, maybe some of you can see it, but it's got Pistols, Stranglers, Pretenders, Ian Dury, Skids, Buzzcocks Magazine, Plasmatics, Public Image, Blondie, Boomtown Rats, Tom Robertson Band, Gary Newman, John Fox, Nick Straker Band, I don't know them, XTC, Gen X members, the Dickies with the Banana Splits, and Jonah Lou with Always Find Me in the Kitchen at Parties, so that was worth £1. A couple of tracks I don't have anywhere else, especially the Jonah Lou track, which I quite like. Then I also got, they can go out. Right, we'll get the indie album. Also managed to pick up a copy of, I think this was the third Icon the Commotions album, I think. This is Mainstream, and this has got things like Jennifer, She Said, I think From the Hip, was that a single? My Bag, I think, was a single. But I've heard this before, like the album, really good album. You've got, so we've got two of the members, so there's Icon on the front, there's another member on the back, and then on the inner sleeve, just so they don't get left out, there's the other two. And then you've got a lyric sheet, which is quite nice to have, always nice to have that. So yeah, really looking forward to hearing that. Rattlesnakes by Lloyd Cole is one of my favourite albums. There's just so many good tracks on that. I think I've now got to search out his second album, which I don't think I've got anywhere, even on CD or anything, so I'll search that out next. Right, okay, moving on to the rock bit of this. Here's the album that James inspired. I got this one, which is Steve Gibbons band. This is, what's it called? Down in the Bunker. I've checked out the All Music reviews on this, and they say this is an absolutely brilliant album, so I'm really looking forward to hearing this. There's a couple, Prerequisite, Nude Woman, I don't know what she's doing there. Nice inner sleeve. Oh no, it's not an inner sleeve, it's on Polydor, because it was signed by, I think the Who liked them, so they got signed to Polydor. I'm not sure why, it seems, that's interesting. I don't know whether this was whether it seems to be two lyric inserts, rather than being printed on one side, you've got the lyrics on two sides. So, it's quite interesting. I don't know why you've got two pieces, but really looking forward to hearing that. I have heard some of his stuff now since it was recommended by James, and I really enjoyed it, so that's another one I'm looking forward to. Also picked up Rycuda, Paradise and Lunch. I've never really heard a Rycuda album, which is probably particularly sad of me, but I'm really looking forward to hearing that, so that's another good solid purchase for £1. I saw this one, had to get this one. So this is Sammy Hagar, Danger Zone. No idea if this is any good, no idea. I'm really, the only two albums I've heard with him on it are the first Montrose album and a few tracks from when he was in Van Halen, like Why Can't This Be Love, but I didn't really rate him in Van Halen, so I'll listen to this with an open mind. But looking forward to hearing that. And I also got Asia, and I think this is their first album, but I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. Love the cover on this, absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me of Spirited Away to a certain extent. It's quite, I don't know, there's a sort of a Japanese quality to that, of course, because the band's name's Asia. Don't really know much about them. Oh, it's a Roger Dean cover. Of course it would be. Yeah, that makes sense. So looking forward to hearing that. And then the final five are all 80s albums. I love the 80s. I do love the 80s. It's when I was a teenager. As a teenager, I turned. Oh, how old was I? 1982. I became a teenager. So I was 11 in 1980, and 21 in 1990. So my teen years are kind of in that decade. So I do love them. And the first one of the five is It Bites. Nearly dropped it. So this is the big lad in the windmill. I've heard this being talked about in some places as being quite a good album. Of course, the only song I really know is Calling All the Heroes, which I think was a top 10 hit during the middle 80s. I think this was released in about 85 or something like that. I distinctly remember that song being on the radio all through one summer. I think that summer. Loved it. So got that one. That's cool. Then I also got another song I loved during the year, about 83 I think it was, and it was the only song I really liked by them. This is Level 42. The album is Standing in the Light. Not a big fan of Mark King's slack bass, to be honest, but I do like Sun Goes Down, Living It Up, which I think is a really good track. So I got that. It was worth it just for one song at £1. Then I also got Flock of Seagulls, which is Listen, and probably the most well-known track on here is Wishing If I Had a Photograph of You. Dreadful hairstyles. Let me check that. Oh, but there's a quite nice picture of them. There we go, there's the inner sleeve. Not really been shown many labels tonight, apart from the antique ones. But there's not really anything special about most of them. So that's that one. I do like that kind of early 80s synth pop sound. And Wishing is a great track. And then the final two, probably wondering what on earth I'm doing with these two, but I got these because I like a fair few of the tracks that were singles. So the first one is No Parlay by Paul Young. I know this is probably naff, but I really like the two. Wherever I Lay My Hat, I'm always still singing that to myself. Reached number 1 in 83. And the other one is Love of the Common People, which was a cover. I think Wherever I Lay My Hat is a Marvin Gaye cover, I think. And Love of the Common People is it's a reggae cover. Was it Dandy Livingstone? I can't remember who did the original, but I like those tracks, and if any of the other tracks are good, then that's fine. Well, I have heard his cover of Love Will Tear Us Apart, and I don't like that. Well, you shouldn't mess with perfection, should you? But anyway, so that's that one. And then because there's a couple of tracks I like on that, and the other one, Secret of Association, again by Paul Young, looking all lusciously hair blown on the cover. This one's got Every Time You Go Away, I'm Going to Tear Your Playhouse Down, which is another cover. Everything Has Changed, Tomb of Memories I quite like. So there's enough tracks on there to like it. So I told my sister that I bought a couple of Paul Young albums. She was going, oh, well, I've got those. Yeah, I know. I used to play them when you weren't looking. Right. So there we go. My charity shop haul. Just come up to 15 minutes. A bit longer than usual than my other recent videos. But I just had to spend the time on getting this one out. But that's not bad. 15 albums in 15 minutes, so there we go. So, thanks everybody for taking time out to watch. So keep making all those videos, keep spinning records, keep buying new vinyl, old vinyl, any kind of vinyl, because it's cool. Keep buying CDs, because they are blooming cheap at the moment. You can just pick stuff up left, right and centre for amazing prices, and really obscure stuff. And just keep having fun doing it. Alright then. See you later. Ta-ra. Bye.